The scandal that had dominated headlines for weeks painted a picture of fiery clashes, violent arguments, and backstage chaos between Sam Heughan and Lia Williams. The story was everywhere. Sam storms out of rehearsal. Lia refuses to back down. Macbeth on the brink of collapse. It was the perfect storm for the tabloids, drama, betrayal, and the possible destruction of one of the most ambitious stage productions in recent years. Fans devoured every article, every blurry paparazzi photo, every whisper that leaked from behind closed doors. They believed they were watching the implosion of a legendary collaboration. Some even whispered that the feud was so toxic, one of them might walk away from the stage entirely. But then came Caitríona Balfe. Quiet for so long, she suddenly broke her silence, and when she did, the world stopped to listen. At first, people assumed she would defend Sam. After all, their long friendship had become the stuff of legend. Others thought she might side with Lia, taking a stand against what many believed was Sam's volatile temper. But Caitríona did neither. Instead, she dropped a bombshell that no one saw coming. There was no fight, she said firmly in a voice that cut through the noise. There were only lies. Her words hit like a thunderclap. The entire narrative, carefully built by weeks of speculation, began to unravel. If there had been no fight, no violent feud, then what exactly had the world been watching? Had the endless headlines, the viral videos, and the emotional posts from insiders all been part of something else, something far darker? Caitríona's revelation sent shockwaves not just through the press, but also through the fan community. The thought that the entire drama had been staged, or worse, fabricated to hide something, was almost unthinkable. Yet her conviction, the raw certainty in her voice, suggested she was not exaggerating. I was there, she continued, her eyes narrowing as if reliving the memory. I saw what happened, or rather, what didn't happen. And I can't let the world keep believing this story. Because behind the curtain, the truth is far more disgusting than a simple fight. According to Caitríona, the chaos everyone had seen, the slammed doors, the screaming, the abrupt halt of rehearsals, wasn't the result of a heated argument between two stars. It was, instead, a carefully orchestrated act. Sam and Lia wanted you to believe they hated each other, she explained. They wanted you to think the production was tearing itself apart. But in reality, it was a cover. A shield to keep everyone from asking questions they couldn't afford to answer. The room gasped when she said it. Journalists scribbled furiously in their notebooks. Crew members exchanged uneasy glances, some of them recalling the eerie quiet that followed the so-called fight. Why would two celebrated actors, both respected in their craft, both admired by millions, resort to lies on this scale? Caitríona didn't give the full answer right away, but she promised it would soon come to light. For Caitríona, exposing the truth was not about revenge. It was about integrity. She had been silent long enough, watching the story spiral, watching fans turn against each other in heated debates online. But she could no longer stand by while the world believed a fabricated narrative. People think I came here to protect Sam, she said, or to defend Lia, but I'm not here for either of them. I'm here for the truth. Because lies, especially lies told so convincingly, become poison. And this poison is spreading too far. Her words rang with conviction, but also with pain. To reveal this truth meant shattering illusions, tarnishing reputations, and opening wounds that the theater world would not easily heal. Yet Caitríona pressed forward, knowing the alternative was worse, allowing deception to continue unchecked. She leaned in, her tone dropping, the weight of her words pulling everyone closer. The truth is disgusting, she whispered. Worse than any violent argument or bruised ego. Sam and Lia weren't enemies that night. They were partners in deceit. And while the world was focused on their supposed fight, they were hiding something else. Something that would make every fan sick to their stomach. The audience held its breath. No one dared interrupt. Even the clicking of cameras slowed, as though technology itself was reluctant to disturb the moment. Caitríona paused, letting the suspense build, her eyes dark with the burden of the secret she carried. And then, with the quiet force of someone ready to ignite a firestorm, she declared, "The fight was a lie. But the reason for that lie, the truth they buried, is far worse." Gasps filled the room. Some reporters tried to push forward, desperate for her to continue, but Caitríona stopped there. She had opened the door just enough to reveal that behind the supposed feud lay a hidden, shameful secret. But she refused to step through it fully, at least not yet. Her voice trembled slightly as she delivered her final words of the evening. "I will tell you everything. But not today, because once this secret is out, nothing will ever be the same, for Sam, for Lia, or for any of you who believed in them." And with that, she walked away, leaving the theater in stunned silence. The world had thought it was witnessing a fight. Instead, it was about to witness the unraveling of a lie so dark, so calculated, that it threatened to destroy reputations, careers, and friendships forever. The silence that followed Caitríona Balfe's revelation was deafening. The world thought it had seen the peak of drama with Sam Heughan and Lia Williams's supposed violent feud, but this was different. This was not about bruised egos or clashing artistic visions. This was about betrayal, manipulation, and a betrayal of trust so severe it risked bringing down everything they had built. When Caitríona finally called a press conference days later, journalists flooded the room. Cameras flashed with relentless energy, the air thick with anticipation. Everyone wanted to know, what was the disgusting truth? Caitríona took the stage in a black suit, her face pale but resolute. She didn't come to defend her friends. She didn't come to soften the blow. She came, as she said, to strip away the last layer of lies. "There was no fight," she repeated. "There was a cover-up. Sam and Lia lied because they needed a distraction, something big enough to keep people from noticing what was really happening behind the curtain." The reporters leaned in closer. Some held their breath. She went on. "While everyone thought they were at each other's throats, Sam and Lia were actually working together. Their goal wasn't to destroy each other, it was to protect themselves. They had been manipulating the production for weeks, using fear and scandal to maintain control." Gasps swept through the audience. The idea that two of the most respected actors in the business could orchestrate such deceit felt unthinkable. Yet Caitríona's tone left no room for doubt. "They made young actors rehearse impossible hours," she explained. "They overruled the stage crew, leaving them exhausted and voiceless. And when mistakes happened, when things fell apart, they staged their fight to shift the blame away from themselves." The feud was a smokescreen, a performance within the performance. The most damning moment came when Caitríona revealed what she had personally witnessed. One night, she recalled, her voice trembling, "I saw them laughing together just moments after one of their supposed screaming matches. They weren't enemies, they were co-conspirators. They knew exactly what they were doing. And the people who paid the price were the crew, the understudies, the young talent who came here hoping for a chance." The revelation was devastating. Fans had believed the tension was real. They had sympathized with Sam or with Lia, taking sides in an imagined war. To discover that it was all a deliberate deception felt like a betrayal. "This wasn't about art," Caitríona said coldly. "This was about ego, about control, about using lies to keep themselves untouchable." Within hours, the press conference dominated global headlines. Caitríona Balfe exposes Sam and Lia's lies. No fight, just manipulation. Macbeth production in crisis. On social media, outrage exploded. Longtime fans of Sam Heughan felt conflicted, struggling to reconcile the beloved star of Outlander with the manipulator Caitríona described. Lia Williams, too, faced an avalanche of criticism. Many accused them of abusing their power and exploiting the people who trusted them. Some fans defended them, arguing that Caitríona's story was too wild, too dark, too conveniently timed. But the majority demanded accountability. The betrayal was too large, the deceit too calculated. What shocked the public most was Sam and Lia's silence. No denials, no counterstatements, no fiery press release. Both stars vanished from sight, leaving only speculation behind. Their absence spoke volumes. To many, silence equaled guilt. The longer they refused to respond, the more damning Caitríona's words became. Behind the scenes, insiders claimed the producers of Macbeth were furious. Contracts were being reviewed, lawyers called, reputations weighed against financial losses. What was supposed to be a career-defining run of Shakespeare's darkest tragedy was now itself a tragedy, tainted by deceit.